President Donald Trump speaking from the Oval Office, signing new executive orders on several measures, including cashless bail and flag burning. President Trump also discussed the potential of mobilizing the National Guard in Chicago and other cities and criticized the use of the auto pen by the previous administration. For more, let's bring in NBC News White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez for the headlines. Good morning, Gabe. So first, let's start with the big topic, cashless bail. Cashless bail, of course, allows a defendant to be released from jail while they're awaiting trial. That's based on their commitment to appear in court instead of paying a specific cash amount. I know some supporters of cashless bail says it avoids penalizing low-income defendants. But, Gabe, what is the president and White House saying about this order and their hopes for what it will do, not just for Washington, but the rest of the country?
Well, you know, St. Clay, the president and his administration have been railing against cashless bail for quite some time. It's something that Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. attorney here in D.C., has been talking about a lot in the last couple of days. And this executive order the president just signed aims to eliminate cashless bail here in D.C. by potentially withholding federal funds from this jurisdiction. And also, he ordered his attorney general to look at different jurisdictions across the country and identify those that have cashless bail policies and explore ways to withhold some federal funding. Now, that is something that the administration has done for a variety of issues, trying to explore ways to stop federal funding or to the threat of withholding federal funds in order to for those jurisdictions to agree or to go along with their policy. But that is just one of the executive orders that he signed this morning, St. Clair.
All right, Gabe.
Let me pause on that. Comment on that real quick. I'll be honest. I think that he should remove that definitely from Chicago. You know what I mean? They put that in order for people. Cashless bail, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker did that. I was really against that when he did it because it just advised criminals, definitely most criminals in Chicago, Crook County, of course, they have mental health issues for real. Like you going if you booked into Cook County, bro, you gonna be in there with a bunch of like crazies for real, more than like regular people that just want violence. It's just a bunch of crazy people on drugs and stuff. That being said, like let's just release them back on the street, right? No, because they're poor, they don't go to jail or they can't stay in jail, wait for their due date. Now, if I knew I did a violent crime, why would I show up to court for it? Can we think logically for once? Facts, because they do the same thing with legal immigrants. Illegal immigrants will do something that it could be something that's like some pedophile stuff, violence, domestic violence, and they'll just let the whole domestic violence suspect go back to the streets and tell them, okay, just meet me in court. Now, that would help for certain people that's just in a real relationship where they just fighting and they let go. But most of the time, that's not the case. Most of the time, that dude gonna go back or that woman gonna go back to that same environment they just was at and start it over again and become another offender of the same situation. That being said, when did we start being so light on crime? I think that's the gateway to the problems right now. We so light on crime that as soon as somebody does something, oh, don't worry about going to jail because the cashless bail, we gonna get you out of there. And then you can just say you can come back because we don't really have that much space. Plus, we don't want to affect your pockets because you're poor. So while you're committing crime, we're gonna do you a solid by letting you go out of jail. So anytime you think about doing a crime, just think that you're in a democratic state and we let you free. So crime on. That's the interpretation, right? That's how I see it. That's exactly how I see it when they making shit like this, is because that's exactly what they're doing. It's like, well, you can't afford to get out, so I'm just going to drop the, and on everybody, the people that can't afford or can't afford, I'm just going to drop the bill on everybody. Nobody has to really pay for real. Unless it's so heinous that we must keep you in. Other than that, if it's just some regular shit, crime, reckless driving, we just gonna have to let you back into the street. You know what I mean? No consequences yet because you ain't see a judge yet. Like, y'all can't be changing the rules. Like, just keep it how it is. Like, stop softening crime because it's like murder. If you say, well, you can kill somebody, you just got to kill them in this aspect, not this aspect. Like, dude, don't even soften up on it because at the end of the day, people going to take that and run with it. It's like there's a reason why there's laws and rules in order, not for states individually to soften these rules and laws in order for criminals to abide by the system. That's what I think personally. Let me continue.
Other order pertained to flag burning. What should we know there?
Well, look, this is something that should come as no surprise. The president has railed against that as well, and has talked about how protesters or people that are protesting his administration might burn flags, and as part of his executive order, he wants there to be at least a 1-year penalty for anyone who has burned the flag, and also takes a closer look at revoking visas for potentially any people from outside the country that are here who take part in these protests, and the president cracking down on this by signing that executive order.
I'm sure we'll bring some free speech questions and concerns, Gabe. The president, interestingly, saying that I assume we will try to codify all of this by Congress. Gabe, the president also made several pointed remarks at multiple Democrat governors, including...
Pause that real quick. Let me speak on this before she adds on. The executive order about burning the American flag. Now, look, Democrat or Republican, you should be against burning the American flag. Okay, now we about to get into the First Amendment right. The right to protest. Yes. You know, we got the freedom of speech, right to protest, and we have the freedom of religion. You know what I'm saying? That's all First Amendment shit. You know, the founding fathers put that there for a reason, right? But not in no other country could you burn their flag. No other country. You can't do that in no other country. We're the only country that allows people to step on, burn, disintegrate the flag of our country that they're living in and benefiting from. That's crazy, right? Because the First Amendment protects them to do that. Now, that being said, should they get, I would say, give them a fine. Time, like I said, Democrat or Republican, we should all be against people burning the flag. But due to the fact that we have First Amendment amendments, and then we have a second, we have the Second Amendment rights, right? And those things, I like those. I stand by those. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you got states that are individually doing what? They'll put restrictions on your Second Amendment right while telling you can burn flags with your First Amendment. So what is the difference between Donald Trump basically saying, hey, if you burn this flag, then we're going to have a problem? You know what I mean? He's just putting a restriction on it. You can still got the right to protest and freedom of speech, but you do have a restriction. And that restriction, just like our Second Amendment, we have the right to bear arms, right? But we can't bear anything. We can't have fully automatics, you know what I'm saying, without a tax code or something like that. We can't have switches. You know, we can't have certain things, right? It's just a restriction on a right. And I'm not saying we should have it, but I'm just saying we have restrictions on other rights. Second Amendment, they don't even care. Every state can have their own restrictions on a Second Amendment right that you're given as a constitution, right? So what's the problem with the federal government saying, hey, you burn a flag, you get time, bro? We're not saying you can't fly the flag, but if you burn it, destroy it in any way in disrespect of the country that you stay in and that you live in, yeah, that's just against all morals and rules, and everybody should be for that. Because you live in this country, you benefit from this country, good or bad. If you're Republican or Democrat, either way, you still benefit from this country, and you should respect this country in the minimum aspect, as in don't burn the flag. Like, it's just simple. It's just a sign of disrespect. Definitely when you have foreigners coming over from different countries burning the American flag on American territory. You don't know who is the enemy or not. Our enemy is within us. You know what I mean? And you have no clue who is who because you let everybody in. You don't know if this person is American or not. He's burning the flag, and it's just very disrespectful. Now, I'm not saying you could take it away, but there should be some type of restriction on it. Like, I know we got the First Amendment, bro. I know, I understand. But there should be a restriction when it comes to the disrespect and the detriment of our country that makes us look horrible in the light. Not saying that if we're doing wrong, we're wrong, but burning our flags on our land is crazy. That's nonsense. Ain't no other country would allow that. So in that aspect, for the executive order of burning flags year minimum, I'm not too much against it, to be honest with you, because I feel like we shouldn't be disrespecting our country at all. Like, there's one thing, like, you can put the flag in a different direction, upside down, whatever you feel like you need to do. But don't burn it, man. It's just it's like killing an eagle. It's like, yeah, you feel me? Breadwinner. It's like killing the eagle, bro. You just can't do it. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about that in the comment section. So we got two big executive orders that everybody's drooling over right now. We got that no cash bond bail, that no cash bail in all the Democratic states, or majority of the Democratic states, and then we have the burning of the United States flag. Now, we know that's going to go to the Supreme Court for sure. The cash bail thing might go through, but for sure, the flag thing, that's going to be the problem, because they, like I said, it conflicts with the First Amendment, and they hold that to the highest standard. That being said, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about this whole situation. Are you for this or are you against this? Tell me your views on both aspects, the no cash bail and the burning of a flag, and give me detailed description of it, because I'm interested in what people think that are actually proud Americans, and then I'm interested in what people think about when they're not really proud Americans and they just, going with the flow. It's your boy Joe Savage. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace. Let's go.